In this video, I want to share with you a few tips around the kitchen to swap out some things in your kitchen which are not helping your health for some things that will help your health. We all want the benefits of a healthy lifestyle, and for most of us, the thing that keeps us away from that is convenience. So I will attempt to keep these as convenient and simple as possible. For the first swap, let's talk oil. Most recipes and most people use vegetable oil as a default because it's cheapest, and if you're using classic cookbooks, most of the recipes will call for vegetable oil, so we just use it without a thought. Vegetable oil is extremely inflammatory, and most of our problems, long-term and short-term, come from inflammation. So I want to swap out that vegetable oil for some oils that aren't inflammatory. The two options there that I prefer are avocado oil, which has a nice neutral taste to it and can be used in place of vegetable oil without you even noticing the difference. The other one that I would recommend is coconut oil, which is also extremely healthy. It may not be as anti-inflammatory as the avocado oil, but it tends to help people with weight loss in a way that the avocado oil doesn't, and in a way that the vegetable oil especially doesn't. Now, coconut oil has its own particular flavor, so you want to be judicious in what dishes you use it in. Not everything that calls for vegetable oil will work with coconut, unless you really like the taste of coconut. The second swap I'm going to suggest is for milk. Milk is not a natural food source for humans. It's not something we were meant to continue to have after infancy, and it's not something we were meant to have from another species. Milk is not a natural food for us, and it has some pretty severe effects on our digestion. Mild effects for a lot of people, severe effects for other people. So what I recommend swapping out for milk is almond milk, soy milk, cashew milk, any of those things. Try them out and see which one you like the taste of. You can swap it for milk right across the board. It tends to be a little bit sweeter, but it's still on the whole going to be more healthy for you than the milk will. Another big go-to in the American diet, and another pretty big problem, is bread. I'm sure you have friends and have heard people talking about gluten intolerance. It's a pretty hot topic right now. And truth be told, we really don't know what exactly the problem is with people right now. It could be the gluten. That seems to be what people are going for. But it's pretty out of left field, that problem. It may be something that we're doing to the wheat. It may be how we've raised the wheat. But whatever the reason is, bread is something that is doing us harm. It is a staple, and it's something that we would want to cut down on. And sadly, for this one, I don't have a simple swap other than to find ways to cut down on it. So if you're having a sandwich, make it open-faced. If you're going to have bread, try to use a bakery that uses heirloom grains or something that uses whole grains. And Dave's Killer Bread is something that should be pretty readily available. Another big thing to do with your bread is to try to make sure that it's organic, even more so than other things being organic. Farmers, it's a process called desiccation, and shortly before they harvest the grain, they load it with Roundup in order to help kill it and dry it out. And we really don't know what the effects of that Roundup are on us. It could be that gluten is causing this. To me, it seems awfully coincidental that we're spraying wheat with poison, getting reactions in our own body, and then blaming the wheat and not the poison. But I'm not saying that is the problem. We don't know what the problem is. But in any event, until we figure it out, it's best to stick with something organic, and best to keep the amount that you're having as low as is conveniently, realistically possible for you. Now, another staple of our diet and another big question mark are eggs and meat. These are things that we eat a lot of, and things that we're seeing some pretty severe health problems come out of. Now, the question is the problem the eggs or the meat, or is the problem how we raise the eggs and the meat and things that we're putting in there? And that's a question we don't have answered. However, there's a lot of preliminary research to show that the real issue is how we're raising these things. All the antibiotics we're putting into those animals, all of the stress that we're putting on the animals, and then the chemicals the animals produce in response to that stress come into the meat and come into our bodies. So with that, I recommend that anywhere you're using eggs, get pasture-raised eggs. Anywhere you're using chicken, beef, try to get pasture-raised chicken or beef. Pig is trickier than the other ones, but do the best that you can to get something as natural as possible. Please check out my meat sourcing video for additional tips on how to do that. After the complicated ones, we've got a couple real simple ones. Anywhere where you're using butter to cook with, the cream in that butter does not cook well. It scorches, The cream is not doing you any favors health-wise, so I'm going to give you a tip from India and recommend that you use ghee. It'll look like this in a jar. It's pretty much just butter with the cream taken out. Ghee can tolerate heat very well, and it gives that same buttery taste in recipes that the butter would. You can use it 1 for 1 with no problems. The other really simple swap is to swap your table salt or even your sea salt for Himalayan salt. Himalayan salt has a lot of trace minerals in it, it has a lot of positives in it, and it doesn't dry your cells out in the same way that a chemically produced salt and table salt would. And the last swap I'm going to give is not as important as the other ones, but it's still something to do if it's convenient. Peanuts are considered one of the most common allergens and one of the most common inflammatory foods in our diet. And peanut butter is a pretty easy one to swap out. Almond butter is delicious and readily available. There are lots of other nut butters. Sunflower butter serves the same function as peanut butter as well. So try those out, see if they work for you. Try out the other swaps. Tell me what you think. All of these are going to be too many to do at once, so pick 1 or 2, try them out, give them a good run, see if they work for your lifestyle. If you want, try some other ones after that. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and if you have any other questions, shoot me an email. Enjoy.